Hello everybody, it's MB48 here and welcome back to another Whovian Wednesday. We return with Season 9 of Doctor Who, which is Jon Pertwee's third season within the Doctor Who universe. And I don't really have all that much different to say about Jon Pertwee in Season 9 than I did Season 8. We saw a little bit less of the Master, but it is still an excessive amount of the Master, in my humble opinion. He's a great actor, though, so that's a big positive. They did very well with the casting of the Master, considering he is the villain for at least 50% of the episodes that Jon Pertwee has been involved in. So that is very helpful. It is hard for me to put Jon Pertwee, to move him up. I still think he is in second for me within Doctor Who. We have Patrick Troughton in first, Jon Pertwee in second, and the original William Hartnell in third. It's just the variety that Patrick Troughton really gave you is better, in my opinion. It's hard to move up when you're facing the exact same villain every time. I find Joe Grant a little annoying. But I do enjoy Lethbridge Stewart. I think he's a great character. We did get to see the Doctor leave Earth a few times in this season, which was something that he was confined to so far. And that's cool. But he never brings Lethbridge Stewart, so it's a plus-minus thing. Normally when he was off planet, we might avoid the Master, but we definitely avoid Lethbridge Stewart. It's like, okay, cool. Some things could be better, some things could be worse. I enjoyed the season. We saw our first look at green screen work in this season, I think. There were normally we definitely did. They were pretty rough. The first one was really useless. Like, they green screened them in the cave they were already in. They just changed the color scheme of the cave to show radiation, and that was just strange. Because you had no clue what it was supposed to be showing. So that was really weird. There was a couple of other green screen moments that were just a little off. A lot off, really. They seemed like kind of pointless moments. It seemed like something that they'd done in the past without a green screen, that when the green screen looks that bad, just do it the way you used to do it. I don't know. It was strange. But that's okay. That's fine, I guess. It's 1970s sci-fi. I'm not gonna criticize the show because of the graphics. I just find it funny seeing the new things of the time. There was another one that was... Oh, when you see the TARDIS fall off the cliff, it's very clearly not the TARDIS. It's clearly a little wooden block painted to look like the TARDIS, and the cliff is not quite the same as the cliff that they're on. There's also the issue that they had just stepped out of the TARDIS, so they would be on the ledge, and it cuts to them looking at the TARDIS fall. But when you can see the TARDIS falling, you can see the whole mountain, but you can't see the Doctor and Joe. That's a choice. That's a choice that they made that it just doesn't seem like they thought that one through all the way. I don't know. I get when the graphics aren't there, but when you know the graphics aren't there, you can at least write around it, because you don't know what good graphics looks like. You should be able to write to the graphics of the time. So that, to me, is strange. Just ignoring the fact that there should be humans on the ledge. That was interesting. Other than that, I mean, I enjoyed the season. I thought it was a fun season again. And getting to see new villains and classic villains was good. I enjoyed it. There was one line that I found very fascinating in the car. He was going super fast, which they just showed by speeding up the car, which works unless you can also see the branches in the background of the trees moving really fast. Then the effect isn't quite as useful. But she asked him to slow down because they were going too fast. And he slams the brakes, and she doesn't even budge in the seat. She's like, why didn't I fall through the windscreen? And he says, because this car doesn't brake, it just absorbs the inertia of the car and you. Sure. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I mean, I know what it's supposed to mean, but I don't think that's how that works. So I find the car amusing. There are complaints that I have seen of modern Doctor Who where the sonic screwdriver is very overpowered and does significantly more than it did in the old show. And that's true. The sonic screwdriver does almost nothing in this entire season. He tries to open handcuffs once, and then it's just given the keys to the handcuffs by the villain anyway. So the sonic screwdriver basically does nothing all season. But yet, we ignore the car doing that. I think there's a give and take from the old to the new. So I'm going to let the new sonic screwdrivers do a little more when we had a car that could basically fast travel you, which is funny in a show that has a time machine. You'd think we wouldn't need a fast traveling car that parks next to a time machine, but that's okay. We'll get into the episodes now. We start with the Day of the Daleks, which is a 4-episode arc. I find it interesting that they start the seasons with a 4-episode and then kind of run the rest of the season as 6 episodes. The 4-episode ones actually move pretty well because they have to get through it in 4 episodes, and you just get more action per episode because they actually still tell a pretty complete story. I think I like the 4-episode arcs comparatively. Episode 1, alien tech is found on a would-be assassin. Daleks are running things from somewhere in space. Episode 2, Joe is teleported to a human liaison in the Dalek HQ in the future. The Daleks arrive and the Doctor sees them. Episode 3, the Doctor is brought to the future by a group of fighting the Daleks, and the Doctor is captured. A lot of D things in this. Episode 4, Doctor and Joe broken out by the rebel group, and they return to their time to prevent the Dalek War from ever starting. The Daleks launch their attack. A peace conference is evacuated, and a rebel sacrifices himself to blow up the Daleks, ending the threat in both times. We move on to the Curse of Peladon, which is another 4-episode arc. Episode 1, TARDIS test flight. After getting out of the TARDIS, it falls off the side of a mountain, and this is where I was talking about earlier. We have the return of the Ice Warriors. Peladon is attempting to join the Galactic Federation. The Ice Warriors are some of the Federation's delegates. The King's Aide is trying to prevent the planet from joining the Federation. Episode 2, the Doctor is posing as Earth's delegate, and Joe is posing as a princess. The Doctor is charged with sacrilege and sentenced to death. Episode 3, instead of execution, the Doctor will fight the King's champion to the death. The Doctor wins the trial and spares his opponent. Episode 4, one of the other delegates was working with the King's aide, and the Doctor exposes this to the King. The delegate dies, and the King's aide flees. The aide captures the King and tells delegates to leave. The Doctor foils the aide's plot, and he dies in the commotion. Peladon added into the Galactic Federation, and then the real Earth delegate arrives, so the Doctor and Joe leave. We then have the Sea Devils, which is a 6-episode arc. Episode 1, sea creatures attack a British ship. The Doctor and Joe visit the Master in his prison, and the prison warden is working for the Master. The Doctor is now investigating the ships. The sea monsters attack renovation workers on an abandoned fort. One dies. The Doctor and Joe find the other one alive. Episode 2, a sea monster blows up the Doctor's boat, and the Doctor and Joe are evacuated from the fort with the wounded. Joe sees the Master walking on a Navy base, but he gets out before the lockdown. The Doctor and Master sword fight. Episode 3, the Doctor is arrested after disarming the Master in the sword fight. The Master wants to help the reptilian sea monsters retake control of Earth. Joe frees the Doctor. The sea monsters sink a submarine, and the Master successfully communicates with the sea monsters. They are the we've dealt with them before, and we deal with them in modern Doctor Who. I cannot remember their name at the moment. I don't see it on this page, so I don't think I wrote it down anywhere. I heard it multiple times in this arc, but I don't know why I didn't write it down. Episode 4, it really didn't take long for the Master's return. Got a couple arcs without him, but 9 episodes in and he's back. The Master instructs the sea monsters to attack and control his prison. The Doctor is taken by sea monster. Episode 5. Why do the alien villains talk so slow? That seems to be a common trend. If the TARDIS translates any language, then they don't need to talk slow. But it doesn't seem like that's happening because they're talking to everybody. Like, these guys talk slow. The Ice Warriors talk slow. Why? The Royal Navy attacks the sea monster base while Doctor is trying to negotiate. The Doctor and the humans retake the submarine, but they are trapped in a force field, which they break out of and return to base. The sea monsters launch an attack on the Navy base to collect supplies. Episode 6, the Doctor, Joe, and the Navy base captured. Doctor causes a diversion, allowing Joe and naval personnel to escape. They return with reinforcements, and the sea monsters wiped out and forced to retreat. The base is reclaimed by the Navy. The Master and Doctor put in sea monster's brig, and the Doctor blows up the sea monster base, but the Master escapes. We move on to the mutants, which is another 6-episode arc. I'm really hoping there's no Master in this one, just to give me a little break. Episode 1, Doctor and Joe on a delivery mission for the Time Lords, 30th century human colony. In a skybase, the planet's native population has mutants. The Earth human, the head Earth human is shot and killed. A rebel leader is who the delivery is for. Episode 2, Joe and the leader escape to the planet's surface. The air is poisonous to humans, and the new human leader kills the assassin, even though he hired the assassin. The leader had wanted to free the natives. Episode 3, the Doctor and framed local make it to the planet. Dr. Joe and 2 humans and a local rebel in the caves, while human leader bombs the caves with gas grenades. Episode 4, the human brings Doctor's group to safety. Episode 5, Joe, humans, and local captured by human leader. Humans contaminate planet's surface, and a human is killed while the rest of the group escapes, but is recaptured. The investigator from Earth arrives, which I really thought was going to be the Master, but so pleasantly surprised that it wasn't. Episode 6, a local rebel butterflies into a super being. He kills the human leader, but proves this planet is theirs and not Earth's. Somehow that's the way to peacefully resolve something, just by killing somebody and letting everybody else go. Sure. Our final arc of the season is the Time Monster, and it is 6 episodes. The Doctor has a nightmare of being captured by none other than the Master, who we definitely could not avoid for the season finale. He is running a time test after collecting a crystal from Atlantis. Episode 2, the Master runs tests and makes his assistant age 60 years. The Master summons someone from the lost city of Atlantis, hoping to summon Kronos, a time monster. Episode 3, Kronos is summoned. The Master cannot control him, so he retraps it in the crystal. The assistant returns to his original age. Episode 4, Kronos is let free, absorbing the Doctor, then put back into the crystal. Episode 5, Jo uses the TARDIS to get Doctor back. Doctor and Jo follow the Master to Atlantis. Episode 6, Master becomes king of Atlantis. The Doctor and Jo are arrested. Master unleashes Kronos on Atlantis, burying it. The Master leaves with Jo, who crashes the Master's TARDIS into the Doctor's TARDIS. Kronos offers the Doctor and Jo freedom to return to their time, and the Doctor asks for the Master to also be allowed to return with them, but he escapes. Again, as always, that's how he rolls. That is season 9 of Doctor Who. It was a good one. I will say what I said at the end of the last video. I hope there's slightly less Master in this next season. I believe there's another 26 episodes. If he can be the reason for the villain in less than half of those, that would be great. 12. If he is only in 12, 2 arcs, leave me be with the other ones. That would be awesome. Let me know your thoughts on season 9 of Doctor Who and the Jon Pertwee era in the comments down below. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.